You're a fucking bad person. And welcome back to the Jim Burns Day podcast. Now listen, be quiet now because I'm talking, okay?
Right.
I went to Rome.
Yeah.
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 Me, the mayor of St. Neots. I went to Rome recently and it was good. You know, people are like, oh, Rome's amazing. Is it? And you think, those guys are a bunch of fucking wankers. Mm-hmm. But it is amazing.
It is
amazing. I'd like to apologise to Rome.
We've all been, right, in this room, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, you've got absolutely nothing you can tell us. So, I mean, you might as well just shut up about it now.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I forgot we were making this just for ourselves. Unlike your little fucking vanity projects.
What are you on about?
Yeah, shut up, mate.
I don't have any vanity projects.
Mate, you got loads of Firstly, Pat Bren is the ultimate fucking vanity project. You've got 25 illegal, illegitimate, and damn right illogical children.
Yeah. Loads of mad sequels.
Exactly. Children, the ultimate vanity project. I want another version of me so I can dress it up and make it do stuff that I can't do.
I mean, it is like, you know, having children, it is born of the belief that the world cannot possibly function without your DNA in it.
Well, listen, the world is already up against it with just me in it. It doesn't need...
Imagine a little Burns.
Yeah. A kid out of Robocop 2, innit?
Do they make well
big time. Dave, you're from the north, mate, so, I mean, you can't even touch me on anything. Now, listen, I'm Stephen Burns, and that guy, say hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Yeah, that's Dave, and Jim.
No, you know who I am.
Yeah, exactly. You're the guy with the headphones on, skull candy headphones, like fucking twat. Oh, you told me earlier, speaking of Jim Trinker, the ultimate poser, you went to Japan Centre, didn't you?
Yeah,
it's like Flight Centre, but more Japanese. Yeah.
It's kind of like going to Japan, except you don't actually have to leave the country you're in.
Oh, that's very Brexit talk there, mate.
Accepting that the country you're in isn't already Japan, because otherwise that doesn't work. Yeah, it's like a Japanese supermarket hidden away in a wee corner of Piccadilly Circus. It's just off Piccadilly, and it's great. It's in what was clearly like an 80s branch of NatWest. So it's all fucking wood paneling with the NatWest logo embossed into the wood paneling as you walk in. So it's like some bad shit. Like loads of cocaine got taken here at one point.
Wow. Allegedly.
I allege. I would guess. It's great. It's like, and I've discovered that Japan is about 1 billion times better at noodle-based ready meals than, well, not even noodle-based, just ready meals in general than we are.
You were surprised that Japan was better at noodles than Britain?
Well, no. I would have assumed that like there's only so many ways you can do noodle-based ready meals, right? I mean.
The thought has never crossed my mind.
But I got this udon thing. With fried tofu and stuff, and it's like I thought, like, fuck it, I'm gonna try that.
You've done well, hipster, you, Jim.
I'm gonna try that. Right?
Nice. You're wearing a Clash t-shirt.
Fried bean
mate.
curd.
Shocking.
Right? Fried bean curd.
Yeah.
And I thought, fucking, all right, let's have a go. It was like $2.50 or something. Weird foil tray. You put it on the hob once you've put the water in. Like really thick udon noodles, not dried, just vacuum packed.
But I mean, it's going to be with Brexit. It's going to be an English supermarket in like 2 weeks' time. It's going to be just loads of chicken nuggets.
Turkey
Twizzlers, isn't it, baby?
It'll just be called like the fucking, I don't know, the Northern Centre, and it'll all be fucking pies and gravy.
I'll be up for that.
I would love a pie and gravy right now. Can someone listen? When you listen to this, send me a pie and gravy. Don't send it to my fucking house. I'm not going to give you the address. But I'll get a P.O. box, and you can send it there, and let me know when you've sent it.
Why don't they just send you a voucher code for pie and gravy? Why don't they send you a voucher code for Deliveroo, so you can
Listen, people, tweet me, DM me. DMs will be open for 1 hour. Okay. These are my demands.
Right, before we move on from pies, did anyone see that fucking survey they put where they asked people around the nation what your favourite pie is? And, you know, I think Leeds got it best with steak and ale. That's the correct option. There's chicken and leek. Fucking London. London with nothing.
I'm sorry.
That's ridiculous.
Banoffee is an incredible pie, though. I don't understand why
anyone... It's not a pie.
It is a pie.
No,
I mean, it's...
Oh, man, I'm moving.
This
town is dead.
Banoffee does come from the USA, though, doesn't it? And they do call pizzas pies. don't they?
Exactly.
So
it's more an affectation.
Banoffee 1 and Key Line 2. What are you on about?
It's just
fuck off.
It's just the whole kind of the definition of pie is evolved there. That's all.
Excuse me? What the fuck are you talking about?
Listen,
the definition of pie has evolved there.
Listen, I come
Unless
from a
you're
place,
talking mathematics, baby, I don't want to hear that.
Where the most popular kind of pie has a macaroni and cheese filling.
That's disgusting. Steak and ale.
It's so unhealthy that Greggs stopped doing it in Scotland. And there were questions asked in the Scottish government, in the Scottish Parliament, genuinely.
Really?
Yeah.
See, you know, that pisses me off. Like, the government, without sounding like Woody Harrelson or something here, if I want to eat that, I'll fucking eat it, you cunt. Basically, don't tell me what to put in my own body.
It wasn't the government that banned it. It was Greggs that went, this is killing people. We have to stop making it.
Yeah, but so what?
You see, when Greggs start worrying about the health of their customers, you know you fucked it.
It's like when British McDonald's stopped doing supersize.
And people were petitioning Nicola Sturgeon to step in and be like, can you tell Greggs to start doing the macaroni pies again? She was like, I can't really do that.
However, that is
more pressing things to
that would be an overreach of the executive powers I have.
But a surefire vote winner. Like, I'm bringing back. If the Tory government said, I'm bringing back Spira chocolate and Rolling Rock beers, I'd be like,
you love a Rolling Rock.
I'd be like, fuck poor people, baby, get rid of them.
What's wrong with? Why would you do anything for a Rolling Rock beer?
Because look,
Rolling Rock is. It's bad.
It's nice.
It's
what you're talking about.
It's more of what you associate it with, because we used to get it all the time at uni and do shit.
And also,
it's not a very good beer.
In The Deer Hunter, you cunt, Robert De Niro says, "Would you like a Rolling Rock? It's the best beer there is."
What?
Robert De Niro's a liar.
Listen, Robert De Niro of bad grandpa fame.
Robert De Niro was literally being paid to lie. He was acting. I mean,
if your definition of acting is lying, then you're going to be a bad actor.
It's a form of lying, though, isn't it?
No, no.
What are you talking about?
No,
it's a falsehood.
No, there's a definition difference between lying and acting. Okay.
No, there fucking isn't.
Yes, there fucking is.
Absolutely isn't.
Well-known liar Al Pacino. There he is. Best liar goes to.
That would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
It's professional lying.
Best lying goes to Chicago. Actually, you're probably right on that one.
Yeah.
So listen, you guys went to the ukulele launch party.
Yes.
Yeah.
How was that? Was there any gossip? Because I wasn't there.
Not that we're going to talk about on a podcast. There was no gossip.
Yeah. So actually, you just made it sound a lot.
yeah.
Like there was a lot of gossip.
Salacious. No, it was a really fun night, and me and Dave went along. We had to make all of our excuses for you not being there. Obviously, people were saying, "Where's Burns?"
I just came back from St. Neots. I took after the dog,
but we didn't say that to people. We didn't.
I was in an important meeting.
We didn't say that to people. But people were like, "Well, where's Burns?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck knows, mate."
Listen, I've been sitting on the shed all weekend. That's not a euphemism.
I don't know where he's gone. The last time I spoke to him, he was on a bus or something. I don't know.
He's not been on a bus in his life.
I made out that you were like fucked somewhere. I don't know.
Unbelievable.
But like,
unbelievable.
No, it was good. My great mate Matt Jones was there, and we did some Great Mates content together. We did a couple of selfies.
The classic Great Mates content.
So big, lovely Joe Screbs from IGN, Gav Murphy. He was hosting a live stream. He dragged me onto the live stream to play against.
Jim was twatted at this point.
I was
he was no longer Jim Trinker. He was Gin Trinker. He was well.
It was proper. Like, you know, when I hit that threshold where I just sort of start like
being yourself.
The C word becomes every other word. And
well, you are Welsh.
And I was
Scottish. So.
I was like, this is not the point to get me on the stream.
Live stream, yeah.
He's like, come sit down, man. So you know,
you're a terrible person.
I sat down, and one of the devs was from Inverness, and I slagged him off.
No, that's proper Scotland. You're not from proper Scotland. You're basically English.
From the Lowlands.
Exactly.
Inverness isn't proper. Inverness is a fucking.
Yeah, it's way north, though, isn't it?
Inverness is a retail park. Like, it's not even.
Is it like Milton Keynes?
Place. Yeah, it's like proper shithole, mate. This is what I said to him.
We should, you know what? We should go to Scotland. We should start one of those GoFundMe.
We should climb a mountain.
Yeah, we'll do it for charity, but the charity is actually our beer fund. Exactly. I will climb a mountain. I would die on that mountain. I'd be like Reinhold Messner's brother, but it'll be slightly more controversial.
Burns plots to commit fraud on podcasts.
Yeah, the police will be like, you actually talked about it. And I'll be like, yeah, but if I talked about it, then I couldn't have ever committed the fraud.
I obviously didn't do it because that would be really
that
stupid.
is Trump's thing, isn't it? You know, I said I was going to be a racist, misogynistic twat, and that's what I'm being. What's your problem?
And all these commentators are like, well, I mean, he did say he was going to do it.
One of the only politicians who stuck by what he said.
Yeah, the world's probably going to end, so let's get to the old questions then.
Questions.
Now listen, Dr. Mark Sloan.
Dr. Mark Sloan.
He might as well come in on this podcast.
I know.
A question every week.
Yeah, but
he sent me a follow request on my personal private locked account on Twitter, and I just want to say, I won't ever accept.
You're okay. Okay, well, you're a bad person. You're a bad person. But favourite foreign film? Now, what did you say earlier?
Independence Day.
That was a
lie.
Well,
what are you talking about? It's an American film with a fucking German director.
Yeah, that's a problem actually.
Well
when everyone talks about foreign films, that people don't include American as foreign, when,
yeah, exactly.
which is terrible,
Like,
really.
I mean,
how ubiquitous they are.
I know it's a former colony, but for fuck's sake, guys.
well, I think that the fucking tossers amongst us would probably say world cinema. There you go.
Yes, that's probably.
There you
more
go.
like it, isn't it?
So,
well, even that in itself is slightly problematic because you're just sort of lumping everyone into.
And they're lumping Zeds into all the different
hey,
fucking
I don't
words
say
anyway.
I fucking agree with it. I'm just saying that's what they call it.
Saying.
So, go on, give me an answer then, you dick.
Films that aren't British or American.
I mean, you had one.
Run Lola Run was the first film I ever saw that was subtitled. I'd never seen a quote-unquote foreign film before that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really stuck with me because it's a great film. It's a really, really lovely small idea that gets bigger and bigger as the film goes on.
She runs, right?
Yeah, she runs. It's like a Groundhog Day thing, but you know.
So I've not seen it, but she runs and then she just keeps running?
It's like it's one of those deals where it's like, I mean, fucking hell, it's been years since I've actually seen it, but she is running to save her boyfriend from
extinction,
a bad fate, right?
Yeah,
and it's like keeps like sort of fucking up on the way, and she's in like a time loop. So
it is a good film.
You know, it is a great film. Like
so she just. It sounds like shit, mate.
It's just one of those deals where it's like, you know, people keep
Have
doing
you
this
seen Transformers?
It's less like Groundhog Day, and it's more like that episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation with Kelsey Grammer in it.
You remember that one, Burns?
Yeah, that's my favourite one. What about you,
which
Dave?
Is a great episode.
I don't want to talk about Star Trek. What about you, Dave?
Lahane, probably my favourite.
I knew you were going to say Lahane.
Still one of my favourite films.
Fucking film
of all
school
time.
Dave. Cunt.
It's fucking brilliant.
My other one would be Emmanuel 4.
I mean, you know, they're all classics. I think they're underappreciated in the genre. I'm going to say, now it's not my favourite, but one of the most interesting so-called foreign films I've seen in a long time. When I saw it was Festen.
Festen's great.
Festen's fucking incredible. And even though it seems a bit cliche to say it now, Downfall's great.
I was going to say
Downfall is fantastic.
Really is. I mean, unfortunately, that scene has been lampooned so many times about.
Exactly.
You can't watch that scene now.
It's in Godfather territory now, isn't it? Where anytime Brando speaks, you're like, yeah. It's,
it is a brilliant film.
Totally.
But yeah, there's I absolutely love Festen. It's so fucking good. It's so good. If you've not seen it, don't be a dick.
We should do a not the director's commentary on a mad European one that people might not have seen as much.
Yeah.
Let's do a director's commentary on not the director's commentary on Run Lola Run then.
No.
Let's do that.
No, that's a very popular one.
Yeah, everyone's seen that one.
No one.
You haven't fucking seen it.
Well, I feel like I've seen
that's
it.
about the point.
A woman runs in a circle for 90 minutes.
I mean, that's...
It's like NASCAR, you cunt.
Why don't we do Jean Dielman?
Right. Right, let's do it. Jean Dielman is incredible. It's such a fucking great movie because it is designed solely to piss you off. It's like I directed it. It's 16 hours long. It's just about the drudgery of...
How long actually is it?
I think it's close to 4, isn't it?
No, I think it's more than that.
Is it?
I mean, it's long.
It is well long. But when we saw it, Dave... You may recall this when we were at university and it was on one of the courses and we saw it and it goes on for fucking months. I left halfway through for a couple of hours and came back and it's like still going, just a woman sitting in an apartment basically. And at the end, which we won't spoil, but when something happens, people actually cheered because there was stuff happening in the movie, which I feel is probably the point of it. Yeah. So it's going. Actually, maybe we should do not the director's commentary, but we'd probably have to do quite a lot of drugs to get through it, because there's not that much to say really about the whole thing.
We'd have to do an interval as well.
Intermission. Craig Gills, the boy, asks, is The Rock a secret sequel to James Bond movies? Well, of course it is. It's got the same guy in it. In the same way that Entrapment is a secret sequel to James Bond. But this time it's like sexy lasers, isn't it?
They do hint at that, don't they? I mean, it's implicit. Right?
Yeah, he's a British intelligence officer. Yes, he is
Sean Connery before everyone knew he was an actual prick.
Yeah, isn't he? Isn't the year significant as well? Like he says, he's been in prison since year. There's a certain year, which is the exact year that he was in one of the Bond movies as well. So The Rock. I'll tell you what, Michael Bay has directed some fucking shockers, but that is a really good movie. Don't fucking disagree with me, lads.
What? Not disagreeing at all.
You're being a fucking cunt about it again.
It's a great movie.
I want you to delete me saying the C word all the time.
It came on your telly once, though, and it was unwatchable because you have that fucking motion flow thing turned on.
Oh, well, that's the downstairs telly, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And the downstairs telly is literally only used for watching doctors and other soaps. And Mob Wives.
Mob Wives.
Listen, Mob Wives is...
And X on the Beach, all these classic Steve Burns.
Right, okay. Seriously.
Are you up to date with Home and Away?
You were slagging
I am,
off.
actually.
You were slagging
and
off
Neighbours.
for like in The Expanse the other day, and it's like you've watched 1,000 hours was it of Real Housewives?
Yeah.
Like you watch the worst television fucking.
But listen, you have to understand. You have to understand that I really like anger gives me the energy to be more angry, you know. And I watch these shows.
Yeah, like Jason Statham, but
exactly.
You're never angry when you watch Real Housewives or Mob Wives.
Oh mate, Crank.
You're always sitting there with a can of Foster's, like fucking she's gonna get cunted.
Gotta stay angry or die.
Honestly, Crank. Maybe we should do not a director's commentary on Crank. Right, listen, shush. Wall Street asks, when did the decline of American action films start? Of the American action films
with Independence Day.
So now this lad, he's a very smart guy. Follow him on the old Twitter. He's the only other person in the world that's seen The Damned. Firstly, and
like live.
How dare you? How? Right, shut up. But yeah, so it's like talking about when American action movies just became a load of what we might term hyperkinetic bullshit. So remember in the 80s, it was great. It was just a man with no shirt with a gun that was usually attached to the side of an aircraft shooting thousands and thousands of people in a country that wasn't his own. And now it's all fucking moody, broody. Oh, I'm sad. And I've lost my memory. But now I'm going to fuck people. Actually, that's a great movie.
That is a great film.
That is a great fucking film. But American action movies, I think a lot of them have been shit forever though, haven't they?
Well, it depends. Some of them just know what they are, so they're fun. Commando.
Fucking love Commando. I love Commando. And speaking of, we watched it, Dave, didn't we? Speaking of motion flow, on my telly in the games room, you can turn off. So when you turn motion flow on, it removes the film grain as well, basically.
It is an opposite of Doctors, isn't it?
And that grain, the post-processing, everything hides so much of the poor direction and the poor cutting. There are entire scenes when you can see the people in the background. There are people just milling around, talking. It's like Arnie's running through a fucking airport or whatever, and everyone's like, oh, that's just fine. And the cutting is so fucking bad. Now, I know it's exacerbated by this motion flow thing, but
listen, you watched, Jim, where they did that? Was it Frasier? Where they remastered it from the originals?
What do you mean? Oh, it was Seinfeld.
Oh,
it was Seinfeld. They remastered it in high definition, and they did like a really good job of it because they went back to the original negatives and stuff, and it looks amazing. Like it looks really pristine. You can tell it was filmed like 1,000 years ago, but it still looks incredible. Really good transfers for the most part. but it really shows up like how in the 90s when you were making a TV show that, I mean, remember, not only were they lower resolution, they were also a lot fucking smaller back then, televisions, right?
Like so people.
No. It's like Napoleon. So like, you know, so that you wouldn't have noticed, for example, like if there was a brand logo in the background of a shot that had been covered with masking tape. I swear to fuck, I keep seeing it in the scenes because now, you know, watching it in 1080p fucking blown up to like, you know, and I've got a relatively small television. I think my telly is like 42 inches, and that's like average nowadays. Back then, that would have been like, you've got a fucking cinema in your house.
You're Tom Cruise, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, so you see in the background of Jerry's apartment and stuff, like cereal brands and like fucking household appliances all have like bits of tape over the... And... like, you just sort of think, fuck me, like this wasn't made for the medium it's currently on, like clearly. And also they insisted on doing it in 16:9, so they had to crop the shot. So it's this weird sort of...
This pan and scan.
You're going to pan and scan it?
It's not pan.
Oh no, it's the opposite, isn't it?
It's not pan and scan. But it's like they're basically chopping off like the bottom of the frame to frame everyone in 16:9. And it works for the most part until you sort of realise that, shit, like, this is such some weird alternate dimension where nobody has any legs. You only ever see people from, like, the navel up. So, no, it's great.
I don't know why
on
they don't
Amazon
go
Prime right now.
With Vittorio Storari, Apocalypse Now.
The boy
was putting forward that the aspect ratio should be 2:1. So essentially, if you have a TV at home that's 2:1, then in it you can fit 185, you can fit 16:9, you can fit 4:3 without having to ever alter the original way that it was shot. So yeah, someone manufacture those TVs, please.
Storaro's the fucking lad, though, isn't he?
It's just absolute bollocks. Or cutting people off at the knees.
Well, listen, back to the question. So, American Action.
I'm trying to imagine what a 2:1 TV would even look like.
Well, it's not. I mean, well, what 16:9? It'd be 18:9 instead.
All right, okay. No, all right, I get it now.
Come on, think about it. For goodness sake. So, American action movies. Now, so when I was a kid, so I was born in the best year, 1984, obviously. And, yeah, so in the 90s, you watch all the kind of 80s classics or whatever. I think the 90s action movies, the difference is that 80s action movies were really, really campy. Really campy, and sometimes a tiny bit glib. In the 90s, it went the other way, I think, and they were just mega glib. Like Lethal Weapon came out, and everyone went, "Oh, so now the characters have got to have like." There's no dimensions to John Matrix apart from his biceps. Okay, apart from his vital stats and his chest, there are no dimensions. He's a man who's got a gun shed and negotiates with bullets in the head. That's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a tagline? Negotiates with bullets and that.
Right, big time. And yeah, I just, there was a certain glibness to like 80s action movies, but then I think almost like post-modernity when people started thinking, oh well, when Nicolas Cage became an action movie star. Who was it we were talking about before when I said that Nicolas Cage has won the Academy Award for Best Actor? People were like, well, that Nicolas Cage? Like, yeah, he's actually a very serious, amazing actor.
4 unwatchable films, then there's another great
film.
Film.
But I've heard that he's got to pay some alimony. That's what I heard. So that's why he's in all the films. So, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I do love a lot of 90s action movies. But yeah, and this like choppiness. What was it in fucking Iron Fist? Did you see this thing going around on Twitter the other day?
What, from the Marvel?
Yeah, and it's like Netflix. 84 cuts in like a minute or something stupid like that, and it's just the worst directed action. Yeah,
in the scene, and also it takes you so fucking long to shoot that.
Right.
It's such a waste of time when you can do it in like 3 or 4 shots and do it properly. And it also is much more impressive when you see someone like take down 5 people in one shot and you're like, shit, that took skill and energy. And it's
there's a reason why people love that sequence in Old Boy.
Yeah, well, it's one of the best shots.
Because just that is obviously incredibly difficult to shoot. But I think what happened because Born Identity was directed by Doug Liman. And the sequel was directed by Paul Greengrass, and the second sequel, and we don't talk about the other ones. And so there was, if you go back and watch the first and the second back to back, there's massive stylistic differences in those movies. Firstly, Matt Damon looks about 10 years old in the first one, and all of the action is actually sped up. So when he starts speaking, is it German or Swiss German? When he's trying to sleep in the park and like he gets the gun off the two officers. Yeah. If you watch it now, like it's really sped up. And then in the second one, the shaky cam, which a lot of people hate.
That's Greengrass's.
Yeah.
But I think he knows what he's doing with that one. I think it's excellent, whereas a lot of people just do it because they think that going handheld is quicker.
Yeah.
And
well, that fight scene in The Bourne Supremacy, the one where he kills the guy, when he gets in his apartment or in his house and he gets the magazine out of the rack and starts with it. That really suits the thing, but I think you're right. When people just start holding it for no reason, it's like...
You can do a lot of cuts as well, like Baz Luhrmann, Moulin Rouge, obviously not really an action film, but there's thousands and thousands of cuts in that film, but every single one is considered and it's cut like music and it's beautiful. But yeah, I just think it's quite often that people do that because they don't really have a vision, so they just cover every fucking angle that's on set and then dump it on an editor to kind of
and chop it to bits.
Yeah,
because and this is the thing, they only do that to give it what it's like a false sense of like not authenticity, but something like an actual energy to the scene that's obviously not in it before. I mean, look at fucking the first Rocky movie. Look, that fight at the end is fucking incredible, and you don't need to go mad on it. Just actually have two people that have something at stake rather than running through two...
I think all of this comes down to basically having characters you give a shit about.
Well, yeah, well, exactly. Like any movie. Speaking of which, when Stano says, are there any decent sports films that aren't documentaries? Well, depends. I don't think Rocky is a sports film. It's a film which happens to have sport in it, which is why it's so good. The sequels, on the other hand, are exactly the other way around. So Rocky's like on the waterfront, basically, but with a massive fight scene at the end, whereas Rocky 4 is just the greatest music video of all time. Like, there are more musical numbers in that than in fucking Cabaret. It's absolutely incredible. What a movie. What a fucking movie that is. But, yeah, so, any decent sports films that aren't documentaries, what we saying?
Is it This Sporting Life? I think it's called. I've not seen it for a long time.
The rugby one?
Yeah.
The guy who wrote that died recently, didn't he?
Yeah.
There are loads and loads of really good sports films, but the
Up
thing
and Under.
The 90s
I'm just plugging rugby league.
The 90s were
fucking sports movies are just pulling a 404 in my head, and all I can think of is Debbie Does Dallas.
Excuse me?
So,
okay. Chris Reedy asks, favourite depiction of an Uzi on film? What's got to be the Terminator, isn't it?
He even says it, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a massive advert for fucking Uzi 9mm. I imagine sales after that just went, shit, I want the gun which he kills everyone with. Ross McMahon, have you ever walked out of the cinema because the film was total shite? Tom Stevens, our mate, Dave and I, mate, he walked out of Transformers 2, didn't he? I mean, and he's watched a lot of shit.
He does watch tons of
shit. He
used
to work for Lionsgate, and he's massively, massively into his films, like crazy into them. He's seen everything ever, and he's a right dick. And yeah, he's seen so much shit, but yeah, Transformers 2 was just it.
It's just too much.
It was just it.
I mean, I almost walked out of episode 2.
Episode 2 is unbelievably bad.
Just because I was genuinely like, there's just something better I can be doing with my time. I'm so fucking bored, and there's at least an hour left.
It's so bad.
Boondock Saints, which people love. Like, some people are really, like, it's a cult classic for some people. I've started watching it twice and gone, this is just shit.
It's got that really good scene with, is it Willem Dafoe, where he walks you through the...
It's got a stellar cast. The story around it is much more interesting than the
Overnight.
film.
So you've not seen a documentary Overnight about the guy who wrote and directed Boondock Saints? Troy, whatever his name is.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that is amazing. Get that fucking scene. Okay, Vitamin DB, of course, David Black. What's the all-time classic film you've never seen? I've yet to see Rocky, and people are shocked by this.
I've never seen The Godfather. That is a
I've
lie.
never seen Alien, you know.
I've never seen Titanic. I tweeted about this.
Is that an actual genuine answer?
That's
You haven't
a
seen
genuine. I've
Titanic?
never seen Titanic.
What have I? I've not seen Casablanca.
Do you know what? I've never seen Citizen Kane either. I've got a copy of it in the house. Never watched it.
Jim Trinker.
You should watch that.
I know the fucking twist, don't I?
It's not a fucking twist. What are you on about? It's a MacGuffin. It's a way you can journey through his life. It's not
and
actually
actually,
I just saved you 2 boobless hours.
Yeah.
That
although
Family Guy thing.
I don't know, like I think the Family Guy stuff. It's more ambiguous than that. Like when it's a sled, but it's not. It is a sled, but obviously it's a prism for. But some of the shots in that fucking movie. The one in there's at the cat house where it goes up in the theatre when the camera goes up and through the sign. Do you know how fucking difficult that is? Especially in fucking 1941 or whatever.
You're speaking to the rest of what is your production company, so like.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know how to work the camera. I just do the shouting.
Talking to a man who's worked an actual film set. Do you know how fucking hard that is? Well, yeah, I mean, it's in great detail.
Dave doesn't know. Oh, anyway, Rogue One's out on Blu-ray now, so that's Special Gun Productions joint. Simon Reed asks, best Paul Verhoeven film. It's got to be Robocop on it. It's got to be. Don't say spetters. Don't be a cunt.
I think Robocop is.
It's Robocop. Robocop's...
Total Recall pips Robocop for me.
You're wrong. In fact, you're wrong because basically
I'm not fucking wrong.
You're
That's
wrong.
what I think.
Stop having an opinion.
You're wrong because we're actually living in Robocop now. Remember when they remade it and it just added nothing because the original is so perfect and so accurate. It's like, Detroit's fucked. The cops are all so heavily armed; they may as well be their own army.
Remember when you made it? Remember when we made a big thing? We made a video about Detroit, something.
City.
Robot shite, innit?
Detroit robot shite. The new fucking David Cage.
The new fucking dickhead game.
Yeah, and we made a film about about visions of Detroit and about how RoboCop's the most accurate film ever made. The joke being that Detroit is a shithole and it is now a police state. And that was before Trump.
We were
like all these people who are actually from Detroit came into the comments and were just like, don't talk about Detroit like that. It's not the shithole you're making it out to be.
It's a really artistic city now, though, isn't it? Because the place was basically abandoned, all those factories.
It's bankrupt, wasn't it?
And then I guess the way that a lot of Berlin and stuff was.
And it's like, we were doing it for comic effect, but, like you say, it was virtually abandoned commercially, right? It was
bankrupt, yeah.
Fucked.
Listen, Frankie the dog asks, how do I contact Burns' hairdresser? Now listen, I'll tell you how to contact them. It's Charles Worthington on Percy Street, just off Tottenham Court Road, yeah? Ask for Fiona, right? Tell them that I sent you, I get money off, you get money off, everyone wins. Easy. There you go. Google the phone number. Ask for Fiona. Say. Do
you mind not using company resources to get fucking cheaper haircuts?
I mean, it still will be with the discount. It'll still be about what you spend in a year.
It's still going to be like 1,400 quid.
Yeah, I recently came back from a stag do and somehow someone was saying, "Oh, I need to get a haircut," and then we got onto the discussion of how much it was. And when I said it was 58 quid, the guy looked at me as if I was the worst person that have ever lived, and I was like, "Fair, accurate." Hitler, Stalin, Burns, isn't it?
You come for the haircut, but you stay for the champagne and the fucking truffle souffle.
You get as much champagne as you can drink. £2, mate. It's awesome.
£2? You just pay for the haircut.
Yeah, but free champagne essentially.
It's not free if it's £2.
Yeah, but
I'm 58 quid for the haircut. Isn't
yeah,
it? Come to Dave the Barber's and I'll cut it, and it's £60 all you can drink.
Yeah, but
as long as you want a number one all over.
But so I was speaking to someone else who goes there, and they were saying that basically if you're a woman and you're getting like the whole shooting match done, it takes hours. So people go there before they go to big events or whatever, and they just get smashed because it costs £2 for as much champagne as you could possibly drink in 4 hours. You see people just like falling about. I'm on the way to the BAFTAs. I'm off to get a haircut. Did you make the BAFTAs? No, I was too smashed before I arrived. Listen. Here's one thing that I want to talk about. This new fucking adaptation. Is it going to be good?
I don't know.
Is it a film?
What?
Or a TV series? I haven't seen anything.
A film.
It's a film. No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen the trailer yet.
The trailer's good. It's got a scene which is
It's
Generally
not, it's
because
a
I
film.
avoid
It's not a
trailers.
telly thing.
no, it's a film.
Thought it was a telly thing.
It was a telly thing in 1990, but that's years ago now. It's like at least 8 years ago.
You see, there was an article, I think it was on Vox or something, but talked about how the new version of Stephen King's, it borrows a lot from Stranger Things. And people on the internet went fucking mental.
Oh, like a Stranger Things is based on that.
Yeah,
Sorry, there's a bit of blood just coming out my eye here. I'll.
So kids on bikes. This is obviously it.
Oh my goodness! Like, oh, just no.
Although I'm pretty fucking sure whoever came up with that article was just like, listen, I'll tell you what we'll do.
Yeah, let's fucking get the wind up out.
Let's pretend we've got it wrong and watch everyone fucking link to it in anger.
Yeah.
Quids in, baby.
So I've not read it because listen,
It is about 1,000 pages long.
I've got no time.
I think quite literally.
Yeah, for like 1,100 pages of Stephen King talking about fucking Massachusetts or whatever.
And I don't like books. So.
But yeah, it's interesting. We after we've done this, we're going to do the next, not the director's commentary on The Thing. And I was talking to you yesterday, Dave, about how I find it, or at least the movie version, and The Thing to be complementary in a lot of ways, but nice and distinct in that in the Losers Club, so the first bit of it, when they're kids, is that Pennywise or whatever you want to call it manifests itself as things that children are afraid of, whereas in The Thing it manifests as the thing that adults are afraid of, which is other people. So in it, it's like spiders and clowns.
Yeah.
And in The Thing, it's just fucking computer programmers.
Just paranoia.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, look out for that. That's going to happen. What time is it? How long have we been fucking recording this thing for? Jimbo.
Oh, I don't know. It's been a while now.
Answer the question, isn't it?
How long have we been? It's only been 36 minutes, apparently.
36 minutes. Right, listen. Okay, Lucas asked, has anyone seen Ghost in the Shell? Is it any good? I've not seen it. I'm not going to see that shit.
Not seen the live
We'll
action
see it.
one.
Haven't seen it.
No, it's going to be bollocks.
I don't know. The whole thing makes. I never thought it was particularly. I don't know, to say it's unfilmable is wrong because everything's filmable. But
they made a movie version of Naked Lunch.
I don't think it.
And a movie version of American Psycho.
Yeah.
I do not think you can make a more perfect version of that film than the one that already existed. So I just don't see the. I'm not like one of these people. If there's a remake, I'm like, how dare they make? I'm like, I don't care that they've done it. I just don't feel any need to see it because I'm like, it's not going to be as good as Ghost in the Shell.
But this seems to be a new trend in terms of taking animated things and then making live action ones. So Disney seems to be going through their back catalogue, Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, I bet it's just to keep the fucking copyright.
Yeah. and make several $100 million.
Yeah.
No, but I'm absolutely convinced the main reason is, I mean, a lot of the stuff.
It quite possibly is.
A lot of their stuff they're adapting is really fucking old, and I reckon it's just like, things are ticking over, aren't they? So you just refreshing the old fucking documents, lads.
Yeah. Get down to the old accountant.
Yeah, exactly.
Hand in. Yeah, okay, Dave, this is one for you because I've not seen any films this year because films are bad. Enchanting Duck asks, the best film released this year that you've watched? I still need to see Get Out. I need to see it.
I need to see that as well. What have I seen this year? I mean, most of my the films that I've been watching this year, to be honest, have been more on Netflix, which isn't necessarily that they were released this year. I haven't been to the cinema that much. Wilder People, that was brilliant.
Yeah. What movies came out this year?
Was that last year?
That was last year, though. Yeah, it was 2016.
Taika Waititi, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but his name. But that was a fucking.
He's doing Thor, isn't he?
He's doing Thor. That was a cracking film. Yeah. That was though. Hunt for
Thor?
People. No, Hunt for or Hunt of something about fucking wilder people.
Listen, I've not. What year is it?
It does a rap.
What year is it? 2017.
2017, isn't it?
Right, 2017 in film. Let's have a little look because I can't remember a single film that came out this year that wasn't Get Out and Beauty and the Beast.
No, it's. I'll tell you exactly what the best fucking film of 2017. Hidden Figures. I had to Google the fucking title there. Hidden Figures. Went to see that. We went to see 3 films. Me and my flatmates a few weeks back. So we saw Kong, saw Lego Batman, and then we saw Hidden Figures at the end of the night.
What about Underworld Blood Wars?
Hidden Figures is absolutely wonderful film with a really great cast about exactly. I mean, it's a very clever title in a lot of ways, but just about three particular black women who were involved in basically the human computers that did a lot of the calculations that NASA needed to, get people into space without killing them. A lot of their work is very much the basis on which they were able to do that. And their story kind of hasn't really been told until now. It's the film makes a point of sort of showing how their reports would have their bosses' name on them instead of theirs, even though they did all the work and stuff like that.
So I was reading a little bit about this about the film and all of that sort of thing, and there was so there's been people are finally starting to pay attention to the people who actually did it, but how in the past is like programming, so actually like manually inputting numbers was seen as almost a bit like secretarial work. So it seems like you're being a human, like you're not the calculation part, obviously, but the punching in of punch cards or whatever.
When in fact, it's like it's really fucking skilled work.
Yeah, of course, and that I think, and I can't remember who was talking about it, about that's why. Well, there are obviously many other reasons and more obvious reasons why it happened, but that was a smaller element of it. That's. Of course, there was, racial elements, sexism, all of that, but also that secretarial work that was seen as some of what it was as well. So I thought that was an interesting little like addendum to obviously the main problem, which is that men are all a bunch of fucking arseholes.
Didn't they have to use a separate building to go to the bathroom and we're losing hours a day?
That was a big thing. There's three of them that the film focuses on, and then one of them who is like the sort of the main out of the three, where most of the attention is on how she was like promoted to the department that was working on the John Glenn flight. It was in a different building. And they had segregated bathrooms, and in the building she'd been moved to there was no coloured bathroom, and so she had to walk like 45 minutes to the other bathroom every time she wanted to go to the toilet. So it was this like 2-hour round trip to go for a piss, and and eventually she gets into shit for it, and like where the fuck are you going every day? There isn't a bathroom in this building I can use, which, so her boss eventually just sort of goes, well, I tell you what, there's no more segregated bathrooms anymore in here then. People piss where they need to piss, right? And it was sort of like a combination. It was like sort of making the point that a lot of the segregation barriers were kind of taken down, not through kind of necessarily through sort of liberalism or progressivism, but kind of pragmatism. Just like, well, we need to get this shit done, guys.
Right, just buried the racism and just make it more subtle.
Exactly.
It was all, I don't know if it was like an overt point, but it was almost like it was almost sort of saying that, like, well, actually they hated Russians more than they hated black people, so
Wow.
Which is which was a hell of a thought, that you can't get past bad things in your society until you're all kind of at war with another society. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, especially how crucial they were.
Like you need an enemy at every step of the way, otherwise there is no progress ever, which is a horrible thought about
my enemies are people who voted for Brexit. They've got to go.
Gonna have to do so much editing on this podcast.
I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. They're all a bunch of cunts and they're costing me money. Okay.
What's the timestamp on that?
But if Jim Trinker's trying to cut that out, is he not your enemy now?
I can't be bothered fucking deleting all the comments.
I mean, the podcast will be about a minute long if you cut out all that stuff.
Exactly, like the PG-13 version of Freddy Got Fingered.
I tell you what film I did see actually that was a real story. A really fascinating story, not a great film. Hacksaw Ridge. I think that is
Hacksaw Jim Duggan
technically 2016, but it
Isn't
only
that
came
a
out
Call
in
of
the UK.
Duty level? Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's classic
It was
Mel
made
Gibson.
by fucking mad bastard Mel Gibbo,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Mel Gibson.
The war scenes are incredible.
Yeah.
Like, watching
I mean,
what
he's
bullets
actually a
to
really
your
good
flesh,
director.
but-
He's just a serious arsehole.
Just a massive.
Who was it? Was it Joe Esterhaas, the guy who wrote Basic Instinct and numerous other fucking terrible movies? He was working with Mel Gibson, like, to write a screenplay, and he was living with him to write a screenplay about this movie that didn't happen. And he wrote a book about his experience with Mel Gibson, and it's called Heaven and Mel. And
That is a superb title.
I'm telling you, Mel Gibson does not come out of that well at all. Like,
Mel Gibson come out of anything well? I mean,
no, like, he apparently just as claimed, like, screaming down the phone at his wife or ex-wife, like, claiming he's going to kill her, all this sort of stuff. And so apparently Gibson and Esterhaas are out somewhere, and someone comes over and says, "Can I get a photo?" And Gibson, like, really smiling, is like, "Yeah, no problem." As the people turn around to, like, get their phone, so Esterhaas, I think, is going to take it, and he just goes and makes the throat cutting motion. And then Esterhaas, like, weird, takes the photo, and he's like, did you cut the heads off the shot?" Like, no. Like, always cut the heads off the shot, then they can't sell the photo. Basically, that's just like, Mel, just you're one of the most famous people in the world. I'm sure there's plenty of photos of Mel fucking Gibson in a restaurant. But yeah,
Is he the one who's been redoing the old Frasier thing and cutting off half the
yeah,
image?
cutting everyone's legs off. But yeah, who's in that it's like who is in Hacksaw Ridge that you wouldn't expect to be in it? Who's the, like,
Pee
drill
Wee Herman.
sergeant or someone?
expect it.
Oh, it's you're on about. Come on,
John Cleese.
no.
I mean, he'd be well unexpected.
It's the season 2 of True Detective.
So not Colin Farrell.
True Detective season 2.
Yeah, the bad one.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Cable.
Vince Vaughn. Remember when Vince Vaughn just got fucking hench? Remember when he used to be really lithe, and then he went, "Fuck this, I'm getting on all the fucking food."
He's always had a shit hairline, though, hasn't he?
I mean, yeah, it's back there, isn't it? But yeah, I like Vince Vaughn though. He seems like a good person. And if Vince Vaughn wants to come and hang out with me,
It's fucking damning praise from you, though, isn't it?
that's how dare you? So has anyone actually seen this new fucking Beauty and the Beast thing?
No,
No,
I
good
was
things, though.
I was invited to join friends the other day, and I was like,
Or for tea?
and sometimes you get to an evening and you've got plans to go out, and you kind of feel like, oh, do you know what? I really could do with just sitting in the house, but you go because you've made the plans. I had that when we were going out to see Beauty and the Beast, and it got to, and do you know what? The promise of seeing a live action Beauty and the Beast just wasn't enough of a motivator to get trousers on. I was like, do you know what, guys, you go ahead. I'm gonna sit here play Mass Effect for 4 hours.
Yeah, although I hear it is pretty good.
I hear it's all right. Although, have you heard fucking Ewan McGregor plays Lumiere in it? Right,
Oh, does he?
that's the name of the candlestick, right? The French
Don't know,
candlestick.
I've not seen the movie.
Yeah.
Hey, so it's the opposite thing that Simon Pegg had, right? Simon Pegg played a Scottish man in Star Trek. He has a Glaswegian wife, and you'd think she'd have given him some fucking pointers on the accent. Did she? Fuck, it's terrible. Ewan McGregor's married to a French woman, and you'd think she'd have helped him out. Absolutely not. Just sounds like Ewan McGregor doing like a fucking 1973 sitcom fucking John Cleese
hello.
French accent. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my
It's all very, choose life kind of.
Dropped H's and shit. No.
It's just, it's terrible. And you're like, Ewan McGregor got paid fucking millions for that.
Tell you what I have seen this week, though.
What?
Which is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, parts 1 and 2.
yeah, you went to
On the
see it.
sunniest weekend of the year.
I'm very jealous. I really want to see that.
It is really good, and some of them, it's so well. Like the stage management and direction is fucking incredible.
Yeah, I just keep hearing about how amazing the production design is.
Yeah, I mean, magic might as well be real at parts of the production where you're just like, how
what did you just say? Magic might as well be real.
Yeah, if you
you're
look
getting
at the way
paid
they
to fucking
stage
say
it,
this, mate.
incredible.
Fucking, I bet it's a load of shit like the rest of them. I've never actually seen any Harry Potter movies.
Have you read any of the books?
No.
Yeah. So yeah,
Incredible.
solid opinion.
For those at home, the incredulous look we were just given by Bounds, as if to say, like, the idea of reading a Harry Potter novel is just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm not against it, you know,
Good. I
but
mean,
it's
I've
just
got
not as good as The
millions of
Worst
people
Witch, is
reading
it?
Well, how would you even know that?
Because I've read it.
You read The Worst Witch,
Yeah.
but you haven't read.
Yeah, because I wasn't a child when
But
Harry...
you can't make the comparison.
I
You
don't
are
know.
unqualified.
Have you read the books, Jim?
No.
Good. So no one's qualified to have any
I've read
opinion.
all of them.
I have listened to the Stephen Fry audiobook version
Oh
of
yeah,
Philosopher's
Uncle
Stone.
Stephen Fry.
Yeah,
that's the first.
I'm
podcast,
working
wasn't it?
through them slowly. I've got them on audiobook, but
You're working through them slowly.
And
What,
I've
you're just
seen-
like pausing them every now and then? Like...
I don't have much of a commute anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, my commute is 3 feet to my desk.
You
Usually,
could go for a walk.
yeah, but I mean,
A lovely walk.
I'm going to go for a walk so I can listen to Harry Potter.
Seems fine to me.
It actually does seem quite fun. I should probably do that. No, but it's I love the films. Harry Potter's great. Like it's so much better than all the fucking curmudgeons give it credit for. It's a wonderful story about growing up, essentially, that a lot of people that you can relate to if you've ever grown up.
Yeah, the play handles that really
But
well.
I've
as
always
well.
been 30, basically. I was born as fully formed, essentially. Speaking of books, at the moment, I am reading, I stole this from Dave. So Dave's actually got quite a well-stocked library of classics, which is incredible, given where he's from. But, yeah, so I stole his copy of A Confederacy of Dunces. Let me tell you, that fucking book is incredible. So I love Ignatius because he reminds me of me. He is just the biggest tosser in the world. And also the other day, I was out in the pub, and I think, you know, I had some. I was in a state of advanced refreshment, and I just texted someone in block camps, "I am Ignatius," and their response was, "I don't know what that means."
What's that reference?
But they there's been some talk over the years about like Will Ferrell or John C. Reilly playing the lead character, and it's set in like 70s New Orleans, and the main character, Ignatius J. Reilly, is a very well educated but complete hypochondriac. He's massively overweight. He lives with his poor, long-suffering mother, and anything that he talks about is always so overblown, hyperbolic, usually references to classic literature, and he's got all these schemes and plans that revolve around him being the greatest person in the world. He watches this TV show. It's like a kind of big band thing where singers come on and then children come on and start singing, and at one point he remarks that these children should all be gassed because obviously the joke is that he will never admit that he loves lowbrow culture, but he's watched thousands of hours of that show.
You are him, aren't you? That's definitely.
I am definitely Ignatius J. Reilly, but yeah. So there's a lot of talk about Will Ferrell playing him, but I don't think Will Ferrell should play him. I love Will Ferrell, but it should be someone like Tom Hardy, because Will Ferrell is inherently a very funny man, but Ignatius J. Reilly takes himself so unbelievably seriously that he does not see, like, with a Will Ferrell movie, it'd be more slapsticky, whereas this is just actually a tale about urban poverty through the prism of a family who spent all their money to educate their dickhead son. And he refuses to do anything with it or for them. So yeah, check it out if you've not seen it. I read it, sorry. It's great.
I'm reading In Cold Blood. Well, I've just finished reading In Cold Blood,
Yeah.
which is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
John Capote. I've not seen the film version of that. Have you ever seen that?
No.
I saw Capote with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, for goodness sake, every time I think about him, it annoys me. Robert Mugabe still lives, and he is dead.
I know.
Mugabe's never going to die, you know? It's impossible. It's sustained by pure evil.
If he ever does, it'll be like you won't ever find out, and it'll just be like CGI Robert Mugabe doing fucking
Peter Cushing,
speeches and that.
starring Peter Cushing and Robert Mugabe. Robert Mugabe had his knighthood
Starring
stripped.
Peter Cushing and Robert Mugabe, and it'll still be a Star Wars film. You just be like, yeah, well, we thought Robert Mugabe had the right look.
I mean, he's certainly evil
So we
enough.
bought the rights to his image from his estate. Why
Exactly.
the fuck not? That's the future. That's what's going to happen. People are going to start putting Robert Mugabe in films just because the rights are on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
totally.
listen.
People
Speaking
be
of
like,
famous Roberts,
what about a buddy cop movie, right?
really
buddy cop.
this.
Listen, buddy cop movie. Where it's like cop A is Humphrey Bogart, and cop B is Robert Mugabe. And it's just called Bogart and Mugabe.
No, it's the same poster as Marley and me, but it's
Bo and
Mugabe
Mo.
me.
actually, we should probably get that pitched immediately.
Yeah,
They'll buy
absolutely.
it.
Listen, I'm telling you, let's pitch it straight to ILM as well. Listen, we reckon we can make this with you. It's
My passion
Admittedly,
project.
you were doing
what
most
is
of the
it?
heavy lifting on this
Right,
project.
what is it? It's Lethal Weapon with Humphrey Bogart and Robert Mugabe.
They've certainly got a lot of differences. It must be worked out over the course of 90 minutes. So yeah, listen, on that note, we're off to go and do like stuff now. Stuff and things. Anyway,
We got stuff to do.
get it subscribed, get it all followed, innit? Yeah. Jim Burns Dave everywhere. Get it followed for just high quality shit talking. Because that's what we do. We're the best shit talkers
that
around.
is true. I mean, we do talk a lot of shit. That is fair.
So yeah, we're gonna do the thing, and then after that, we're gonna do Jean Dillon. We're gonna do it, and we have to get something like marijuana. Mm-hmm. I don't know anyone who you live in the suburbs, so I don't know.
It's all medicinal around here, mate. Everyone's an OAP.
Speaking of which,
Fucking bad.
listen. Well, anyway, listen, we're out. You've been great. Thanks for listening, and we'll be
Cheers.
back later.
Bye.